Hi everyone! So for today's video, we are going to take a look at the Illamasqua Artistry Movement palette. If you want to know my opinion on this palette and if you want to see how I achieved this look, you can just keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos 3 times a week, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my content. And that's it, so let's get started with the makeup. Alright, so let's get started. I'm so excited. I was planning on filming another video today. I actually filmed another video, but the makeup look didn't turn out to be good. So that's why my lids are a little bit like tinted pink. I made a pink look and it didn't really turn out. So my lids are a little bit stained right now. But right when I finished filming that failed video, I received by the mail the Illamasqua Movement Artistry palette. First impression on this palette is that I love the packaging. This feels high-end. It's really sleek, and I also love the shape of the palette. Now, I've never seen these kind of shapes before. I really like it, and when you open it, you have the little protector, and the palette looks like this. Now, this is really pretty. I would say this is a really nice everyday type of palette. So you have browns, you also have some shimmers, and you also have some pop of colors. Now, if you know me, you know that I love my purples, you know that I love my pinks. So when I saw that there was a bright purple in this palette, I was really excited. I'm probably going to be using this today with some more of the neutral shades. But yeah, this is pretty exciting. I'm going to be doing swatches for you guys. So I'm going to start with the swatches. So I'm going to start with the first row. I'm going to start with the shade called Beauty, which is a very deep brown shade. Ooh, okay, now first of all, this brown shade is freaking pigmented. It's really rich. So next I'm going into the shade called Hope, which is a really pretty like coral copper shade. It's a satin finish. Next I'm going to go into the shade called Truth, which is a really pretty like transition shade. It's kind of the same color as my skin tone. Next, I'm going to go into the shade called Inclusivity, which looks like a very, ooh, yeah, it's a really pretty golden shade. Next, we have the shade called Compassion. This shade really like caught my eye because it's a really like pretty gray, almost purple shade. The last shade on the row is called Equality, which is a really pretty almost like gray to green shift shimmer. So that's really pretty. It's really interesting. So that's it for the first row. Next we are going to go into the shade Heritage, which looks like a deep copper shimmer shade. Next we have the shade called Movement, which is a little bit lighter. It is also a shimmer. Next we have the shade called Understanding, which is another shimmer. I will have to say, I feel like all of the neutral shimmer shades are very similar to one another. I feel like this palette could have been more interesting if we have more colorful shimmers, because all of these right here are extremely similar. Next we are going to go into the shade called Artistic, which is a really like pretty white shade, cream white shade. Next we are going into what I think will be my favorite shade. It's called Nonconformist. Again, I'm never going to be able to pronounce these words. This is a really pretty like purple with a brown shift. It looks really nice. And last but not least, we have the shade called Expressive, which is a deep, like almost black green shade. So far, I'm really impressed. All the shimmer shades are really pigmented, so that's really good. I wish maybe there was like more textures in this palette, because it is called like Artistry Movement palette. I would feel like a palette called like that would have more like colorful shades in it, but that's really just my personal opinion. We are going to stop talking and we are going to apply this on our face. So I'm going to be starting by priming my lids. I'm going to be using my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. So I'm just putting this all over my lid and blending this in with my fingers. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set my concealer in place using the shade called, I think it's called Artistic, which is the white shade. I'm actually going to mix it with the shade called Truth to have like the perfect skin tone color. And I'm just going to take a JH30 brush and I'm just going to pack this on top, just so that we have the perfect base and all the eyeshadows will blend nicely on top. I'm going to be using a JH33 brush, which is a smaller blender brush. And I'm going to take the shade called Compassion, which is the kind of gray shade. And I'm going to start and blend this in my crease. I kind of regret using the Urban Decay Primer Potion just because the Urban Decay Primer Potion, sometimes it can make any eyeshadow like cling to certain areas and be a little bit patchy looking. So I actually think I'm going to remove what I have right now, and I'm just going to use a concealer to prime my lids. So I'm going to remove this and I'll be right back to this point. All right, so we are back. I'm going to go back into the shade called Compassion, and I'm just going to start blending this in my crease. It doesn't really want to grab on my lid. I'm just trying to like get a good payoff. I feel like on the eyes it's not as dark as I thought. Like in the pen it looks pretty dark. On the eyes it looks like a very soft gray shade. It is really pretty. I really like the undertone of this shade. It has a really pretty purple undertone. The only thing I will say is that it's starting to look a little bit patchy. So I'm really scared that when I'll go in with a deeper shade just to add a little bit of definition, that it's not really going to stick. So I'm going to do that after just to try it out, test more of these shades out. So next, I think I'm going to be using a JH40 brush, which is a smaller blending brush. And I'm going to go into the shade called Expressive, which is the very, very deep, almost green shade. So I'm going to pack this on the outer corners, and I'm going to create kind of a cat eye look. Ooh, I really like this shade. But I feel like it doesn't have a lot of payoff. It's like, on the pen, it looks extremely deep, but on the eyes, it's a little bit more light. So I'm going to try and pack the shade on to have the opacity that I want. And I'm also going to take that shade and blend this in my inner corners right here. And I'm going to blend this going into my crease. I really love the two shades together though. I feel like the green with like the very like cool tone purple, it looks really flattering. And this very deep shade is blending very easily. But like I said, the only thing is that it's not really pigmented. It doesn't have a lot of payoff. I'm going to go back into the JH33 brush and I'm going to blend some of these edges. All right, next I am going to go into the shade called Equality. This is such a pretty shade. It's like a duochrome, like golden to green shade. And I'm going to pack this in the center of my eye, but following the cat eye shape we have right now. So I'm going to pack this on the lid using my finger. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm going to take that shade with a JH41 brush, which is just a flat brush. And I'm going to use that just to get a little bit more precision. And with that shade, I'm going to follow the cat eye we have on our outer corners. And I'm going to do kind of a line on top of that. Just to see where the look is going, I'm going to clean my under eye and create a sharp line. All right, I really like the look I created. So I'm just going to do the same on the other eye and I will be right back. I'm just going to take any kind of small blender brush and I'm going to take the shade called Artistic and I'm going to put this on the brow bone. And I'm also going to take with that brush the shade called Compassion, which is the kind of like gray purple shade, and I'm going to smoke this under my eye. And I want to try the gold shade from the palette. So I'm going to take the shade Inclusivity and I'm going to put this in my inner corners for a golden inner corner highlight moment. I just feel like this look is missing a little bit of glitter. I feel like this could look pretty with some glitters. So I'm just going to take my ABH Jackie Aina palette and I'm going to take the shade Trust Issues with my finger. And I'm just going to dot this in the center of my eye just to give a little bit more of a glittery finish. And next I'm just going to pop on some mascara. And for my lashes, I think I'm going to use these, which are the Sephora Collection Vivacious Lashes. I want to use these because they have like a really like whispery outer corners, which is going to enhance the very like cat eye we have going on. It might be too much. Is it too much? Yeah, I'm going to go for a more natural lash. So because I want something a little bit more natural, I'm going to go for my trusty ABH lashes in the style Fashion. Oh, I love these so much. They go well with any eyeshadow look because they're like really long and whispery, but you can still see the eyeshadow through them, so that's why I really like them. For my lipstick, I think I'm going to do a little combo. So I'm going to use the Beauty Vaulte lip liner in the shade Kozy Kira. And for my lipstick, I'm going to use the Kosas lipstick in the shade Rosewater. And naturally, my lips are crooked, like this part is higher than this one, or it's the opposite, I don't know, but my lips are so crooked. So it's so difficult to line them properly. All right, I think that's good. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the Kosas lipstick in the center. So for gloss, I'm going to use the NYX gloss in the shade Clear, just to give a little bit of shine. And I'm going to set my face in place using the Pixie Rose Glow Mist. I've been really liking this because it gives such a nice finish to the skin. It gives a really nice shine. So let me set my face. Just a little bit. Alright everyone, so here we have it. I'm super happy with the look I created. To sum everything up about this palette, I will have to say that I really like it. I do enjoy these shades, especially the more colorful ones. The only thing I would say about the color choices is that I would have removed one of these shimmers because these 4 shades are really similar to one another. So I probably would have removed 1 or even 2 and added more colorful looks, because this palette is called Artistry Movement, so I thought this palette would have more shades. I can see how this would be a really good palette for someone that wants a palette that's pretty foolproof, where you can achieve very different looks. You can do a very soft everyday look with this palette. You can also do something that's a little bit more glam. So overall, I feel like this is a really good palette. About the formula, I do like the shimmer formulas. They have a lot of payoff. They are really bright. I wish there was probably more like textures, so maybe more glitters or something a little bit different than a satin finish, because in this palette you only find mattes and shimmers. I will have to say, like, the deeper shades that I tried when I first starting to blend them in, they were looking a little bit patchy, but you really just have to take your time, build the shade up to your liking, and it's going to look beautiful. That's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. You can also subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos 3 times a week, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my content. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.